Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to hatch brine shrimp, which you can use to feed to your fish fry. I know there's like 1,000 of those kinds of videos out there on YouTube, but everyone's got their own methods, their own hatching systems, and this is mine. So let's get to it. My hatching system is pretty basic. It's got the, I don't remember the brand, San Francisco Bay, I think. Yeah, San Francisco Bay, the hatcher stand. It's just the stand, the bottle's not included. The airline tubing might be included, but I don't remember. But basically it's just a stand that you screw a used soda bottle into. It can be like a 2-liter Coke bottle, or this one, which is some other obscure brand that I got a bottle of root beer from, and I got it because I like the shape of it. A very steep cone shape like this is ideal for hatching brine shrimp because that way the eggs won't collect on the sides. Like if you have one of those, like one of the 2 liters that has just a round bulbous bottom or top, I guess, those aren't as good because, you know, the eggs, like this shape over here, the eggs will collect on the sides over here, and it's not good. But when it's like a nice sleek shape like this, it's a lot better. And sorry if that looked suggestive. Anyway, yeah, so this is like the San Francisco Bay brine shrimp hatcher stand thing. I've had this for going on 6-7 years now, and it's been doing fine for me. It did break at some point. There was a little nub over here on which I would connect the airline tubing, but that part snapped off maybe a year or two back. So what I did is I took one of those airline connectors, cut it up to fit, and then just super glued it on here. So now it works again because I was able to do that. And yeah, these things will last forever as long as, you know, they don't break, or if you're able to repair it. I know there's like, you know, like the Aquarium Co-op Zis hatcher thing. Those are very fancy and for hatching larger amounts of brine shrimp, and especially if you do a lot of it every day. But since I only have just the few Medaka fry every week, I do feedings every other day with them. Brine shrimp feedings, I feed them every day, but every other day it's brine shrimp because I need to give them like a couple days for the shrimp to hatch. But this suffices for my small operation. So what I first do is I stick this over here, and sorry about the light, but I stick it on here. There is Velcro on the bottom of the stand and on top of the aquarium because I have a cat who hangs out in the fish room a lot, and I have the Velcro here so he doesn't knock it over. And then I take the airline tubing over here and I fit it onto the air here. I'm gonna put down the phone for that. Alright, I got that connected. Air is flowing through. The clasp is open, so the air is blowing in right now. So it's connected to the air, and the next step is to get some aquarium salt. So this is salt for freshwater aquariums. It's API brand, so it's the one that you'll see at PetSmart or Petco or whatever. And I'll do a tablespoon of that. So that's a bit less than a tablespoon. There we go. So just a tablespoon of that goes in there. And I know there's like other kinds of salt you could use. There's like specific salt meant for hatching brine shrimp. I don't know if you can use saltwater tank salt. Maybe you can, I don't know. You'll have to look that up, but I use the freshwater API salt. It's there. And here is the brine shrimp. The particular brand I'm using right now is Aquatic Foods Great Salt Lake Brine Shrimp Eggs. It's pretty good. The one problem I have with is the egg separation, and I'll show you that when the eggs hatch. But my fish seem to like it. Aquarium Co-op's brand is brine shrimp is still pretty good. I might go with them next time because I'm just not a fan of the egg separation here. But you'll see that in a bit. I know about what I'm talking about. So anyway, I take about, this is like a half teaspoon, I think, of the eggs, and I pour that in here. And you'll notice that there's no water in here yet. I prefer to put the salt and the eggs in first because I think it mixes better when I'm adding the water in. Like when I throw the water in there, you know, it churns as I'm pouring the water in, and I feel like that mixes it better. Alright, so those are in there. You got the eggs, you got the salt. Now I'm gonna take this pitcher and get the hottest water from the tap. So I like to use the hottest water from the tap because I feel like it kickstarts the hatching process. It kind of wakes them up. One thing I forgot to mention is that most people advise, and I do too, that you should refrigerate the eggs once you open the container. It makes it last longer, and so when this isn't out, when I'm not setting up a new batch, I have it in the refrigerator. And so the eggs are cold, and I use the hot tap water because I feel like it kind of wakes up the eggs and gets the hatching process started just a bit quicker. I also use, I don't use any dechlorinator in this because the chlorine in this water, I don't have much chlorine to begin with, but the chlorine helps to sterilize anything, any bacteria that are in here and any bacteria that might impede the hatching. So I fill it up till about an inch from the top. So that's about maybe 0.75 inches, but that's fine. But you see that pouring the water in kind of churned it up. Got the salt mixed in with the eggs. There's still a bunch of salt in there, but that's going to quickly go and dissolve once the bubbles do their thing. And yeah, so after that, I put on this mesh planter because my fish room assistant will drink out of this and drink the salt water if I don't have this on. So this is here for his protection. By the way, if you didn't know, my fish room assistant is here, Bubo. Yeah. Showing off for the camera. Look at him. Yep. So that's why this basket is on here. So I'm gonna let this go, and typically it takes a day for the hatching for the brine shrimp to hatch. I always give it at least a day and a half because my fish room isn't always at 78 degrees. Right now it's actually not even 78. Oh, it's just a bit above 70. Ideally you want to be at least room temperature to get these to hatch within 24 hours. I do at least 36, 48 ideally, but at least 36. Just to account for this room not being as warm as it should be. The warmer the better. Like if your fish room is at like 80 something, these things are going to hatch within 24 hours, maybe less. So I'm going to let this sit for a couple days, and we'll come back and see what it looks like after those couple of days. So it's been a couple of days, and the brine shrimp look like they're ready to be filtered out and fed to the fry. So what I'm going to do is stop the airflow and cinch it like that. These are one of those like enema clips used for enema bags usually in the hospitals, but they also work well for stopping the airflow for airline tubing. So remove the mesh and carefully lift it. Wasn't sure if I disconnected the air. Yep, so I disconnected the air. So yeah, sorry, there's this big light in the way. So I carefully lift it out. Get the tube over. Alright, so that's there, and what I like to do is get this plastic flower pot and put it over here so it kind of looks like a funny lamp, but what it does is it blocks out all the light over here, which causes all the brine shrimp to congregate down here, because they're attracted to light. So there's no light up here, they'll all just kind of float down towards here. And I'll give this about 20 minutes to half an hour. Sometimes I forget and it'll go an hour or so, but ideally 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes, depending on how much brine shrimp you have. Let this sit here for that long, and then they'll all gather at the bottom here. So we'll give it that much time to wait. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes, and you can see that it's more opaque orange down here. That's all the brine shrimp have floated down, or at least most of them. You still have some up here, but I'm gonna, when I drain this container, they'll all kind of just float out and out of this tube. But yeah, let's get to that. So let's move it here to the sink. And I need to get the strainer. Alright, I have the strainer here, and it's a very basic little strainer sieve thing. I think it's Top Fin brand. Yeah, it says Top Fin on here, or something. No, Hobby. I don't know what brand that is. Hobby something. But first, before I strain it, I need to wet the strainer. Because if I don't wet it, get it nice and moist. It's because if I don't wet it, these pores will essentially be unopened and nothing will seep through, because the netting is so fine that you need to get it pre-wet in order to filter anything out of there. So got my brine shrimp. Another thing I like about these clamps is that I can do this all one-handed. I used to use those valves for the airline tubing where you just twist it to adjust the airflow, but I could never do those one-handed, so it's great that I have the clip here to do that one-handed. It's a lot easier. So here we go. And this is draining out all the water, and theoretically all the waste the brine shrimp have produced over the past couple of days while they were swimming around in the salt water. Unfortunately, it doesn't filter out the eggshells. I don't think anyone's really invented a net that could successfully filter out and separate the eggshells and the brine shrimp, because they're almost the same size. So we're filtering it out. You can see some of the brine shrimp have congregated on this side here. Probably because they see the light coming from the aquarium over here. Yep, so it's almost done, and once it gets close to being emptied, I'm gonna close the clamp shut so the eggs don't come through. Alright, so just a bit more. Oops. Cut it out a bit too soon. I'm kind of. There we go. Alright. Oh, I think I got some of the eggs, but doesn't matter. The fish will eat the eggs, shells, and poop them out, so it's no harm to them. Give it a bit of a rinse to get rid of the remaining salt water in there. I'm going to use cold water for all of this, because, you know, hot water will just cook them. Alright, so got them in here while I let it float for a bit while I go grab the... Oops. They were sinking, but let's see. Okay. Stick it over here while I grab the feeding tube thing. Alright, so I got my pipette. And what I'm going to do is suck some of the brine shrimp with the pipette. And then just drop it in here. This is a bad view. Let me see if I can do a little bit better. Oops. Suck the brine shrimp with the pipette. And drop it in. And these will feed the fry that are in here. If you look closely, you can see the brine shrimp moving around. Let's see. You see that up? They're all moving around. When I do this, I do like to have it a bit wet while I do this because it's easier to suck them out with the pipette. Oops. Yeah, unfortunately this thing doesn't float. Maybe I should put like a foam ring on it or something to keep it from sinking. Okay, I figured out a way to keep it steady for you while I continue to feed the brine shrimp here. So I mostly just feed the fry that are in here. Is about maybe a dozen or so in here. I do have more that I'm going to also feed these to. And the rest are going to go in the main Medaka tank over here. Actually, let me show you the other fry that I'm going to feed. Okay, so these other Medaka fry are in green water, which means they are constantly being fed as the microbes in the green water are filtered through their gills, but I am also going to be feeding them some brine shrimp to just boost their growth a bit before I move them to the fry tray. So here we go. You can see already they're feasting on them. Yeah, I'm probably going to transfer them to the fry tray at the end of the week. I've noticed that every time I feed brine shrimp to fry, they will appear twice as big as the day I fed them. So the next day they'll be twice as big, and brine shrimp is pretty useful in getting fry to grow up pretty quickly and large and healthy. And back to the main aquarium with the fry tray, and I'm going to do another squirt of brine shrimp over there. And then I'm going to move the rest down in here for the other Medaka. Watch them go crazy. Now, I like this brand of brine shrimp, but my only issue is that it's not very good at separating the brine shrimp from the egg casings. Like, these are all just from previous feedings, all of these little brown specks, and there's a whole bunch gathered over here. Not very good at separating from the egg casings, but other than that, I mean, I like it. I'll probably use a different brand next time, maybe switch back to the Aquarium Co-op brand, because I like the other fish foods that this brand offers. I decided to give the brine shrimp a try. But yeah, I think ultimately I'm gonna go with the Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp because that separates from the egg casings a lot better. And for cleaning the hatcher, I'll I use a pressure washer because it helps get rid of all the microscopic sediments and all the gunk that collects on the inside of here. It's always good to make sure you have a completely clean hatcher before you hatch a new batch of eggs, because a hatcher that hasn't been cleaned will actually reduce the number of eggs that you'll be able to hatch. It's hard to do this one-handed. But yeah, I'll let the water kind of flow out of this tube to clean the tube as well. And that's pretty much it. That's how you hatch brine shrimp and feed them to your fry. Yeah, well, that's it. All the items that I showed in the video, like the hatching stand and the brine shrimp eggs, they're all the links for them, if you want to get them, they're in the video description. Hush. Alright. Yeah, the links are in the description for those items. They are affiliate links to Amazon and eBay because despite all efforts and applying to hundreds of jobs, I'm still unemployed. I'm going on 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I'm losing track of time, 3 or 4 months of unemployment, and if you want to help support me, you could try, if you wanted to get those brine shrimp supplies, you could use the links in the video description to help me out. I also have a Throne link over there, and Throne is a website that's like a wish list where you list items that you want and other people could purchase them for you and they're shipped directly to you. There's a Throne link there too for some aquarium supplies and other items related to fish keeping and making these videos, and if you wanted to continue to support me and encourage me to make more videos and help me out while I'm without income, I'd really appreciate it if you took a look at the Throne items and see if there's anything that you could send my way. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you watched all the way to the end and got to this part. Thank you for watching, and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, notification bell, whatever, and I'll have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.